Tonight, the shocking blowup in the Oval Office. President Trump and Ukraine's President Zelenskyy, the meeting descending into an extraordinary clash, something we have not seen before.
Can I
Wait a minute. No. You've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning. You're not winning this.
With Ukraine's future at stake, President Trump and Vice President Vance berating President Zelenskyy, telling him diplomacy is the only way. And when Zelenskyy pointed out Russia has rejected diplomacy, the meeting spiraled. Vice President Vance asking, have you said thank you once in this entire meeting? President Trump telling Zelenskyy, you're gambling with World War III. Telling Zelenskyy, in making a deal, you don't have the cards. There is also breaking news coming in tonight in the death of Oscar-winning actor Gene Hackman and his wife, what authorities have now just revealed. In New York City tonight, the dramatic rescue, the high-rise scare 700 feet above Manhattan.
Oh, my God.
2 window washers twisting in the wind outside the 78th floor. Their scaffolding smashing into windows, broken glass falling to the sidewalk. Tonight, the measles now being reported in at least 9 states, Texas to New Mexico to New Jersey, what we've learned. There's also major news involving the Pope tonight. Pope Francis suffering a sudden worsening of his respiratory issues, what we've learned, and they've placed him on a breathing machine now. Amid soaring egg prices across the U.S., what McDonald's is now doing this weekend, the $1 price tag. And the countdown to the Oscars here on ABC Sunday. Tonight, Robin Roberts with the nominees, Cynthia Erivo, Demi Moore, and Timothée Chalamet, all right here tonight.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. We begin tonight here with the shocking and unprecedented blowup in the Oval Office, something we have not seen before. President Trump and Ukraine's President Zelenskyy, the meeting descending into an extraordinary clash. The U.S. has been Ukraine's most important ally after Russia invaded 3 years ago. But today, that relationship looked very different as it all played out on television in front of the world. With Ukraine's future at stake now, President Trump and President Zelenskyy in the Oval Office, Vice President Vance sitting right beside them. The vice president berating President Zelenskyy, asking him, have you said thank you for anything in this meeting? Saying diplomacy with Russia is the only way. And when Zelenskyy tried to point out that Russia has rejected diplomatic efforts in these years of war, the meeting spiraled. President Trump telling Zelenskyy, you're gambling with World War III. Telling Zelenskyy, in making any kind of deal, you don't have the cards. President Zelenskyy left the Oval Office for another room at the White House and was then asked to leave the White House. President Trump before the cameras moments ago, and President Zelenskyy doing an interview a short time ago on cable news. And tonight, allies of Vladimir Putin in Russia applauding the scene in the Oval Office today. Here's our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, leading us off.
Tonight, with the future of Ukraine hanging in the balance, that explosive confrontation in the Oval Office. Tension boiling over between President Trump and Ukrainian President Zelenskyy when Trump was asked about concerns he's aligning with Russia's President Putin.
Well, if I didn't align myself with both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal? That doesn't work that way. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred. And I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world.
Vice President J.D. Vance then jumping in.
I want to respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy.
Zelenskyy interjecting.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Ukrainian president making the point that when they tried diplomacy in the past, Putin broke the deal.
He broken this ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to...
Count one.
Zelenskyy warning if Russia succeeds in taking Ukraine, the U.S. will also pay a price.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. But right now, you don't. Yeah, you're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III.
The vice president again jumping in.
Have you said thank you once this entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting, have you said thank you?
Zelenskyy trying to bring the temperature down, but Trump berating the wartime leader.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war,
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country is in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a minute. No. You've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning. You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful.
Zelenskyy came to Washington hoping to get Trump to guarantee Ukraine's security if Putin violates the terms of a peace deal, something Trump has refused to give him. Today, instead, delivering this ultimatum.
The problem is, I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh? This is going to be great television, I will say that.
Trump then kicking Zelenskyy out of the White House, canceling their press conference, releasing a statement saying, "I have determined that President Zelenskyy is not ready for peace if America is involved. He disrespected the United States of America. He can come back when he's ready for peace." Tonight, as he was boarding his flight to Mar-a-Lago, the president with this message to Zelenskyy.
He's got to say, I want to make peace. He doesn't have to stand there and say about Putin this, Putin that, all negative things. He's got to say, I want to make peace. I don't want to fight a war any longer. His people are dying. He doesn't have the cards, just so you understand it, okay?
And moments ago, Zelenskyy saying this to Fox News.
I'm speaking like a president of a people who are in the struggle 3 years, and they just want to hear that America on our side and that America will stay with us, not with Russia, with us. That's it.
And now tonight we've learned that the Trump administration is considering cutting off all ongoing shipments of military aid to Ukraine in response to Zelensky's comments today. Now, no final decision has been made, and it's not clear what impact this would have on the battlefield, but it would certainly send a clear and strong message after the fiery spectacle the world witnessed here today, David.
Mary Bruce leading us off at the White House. And Mary, as you know, the world watching this blow up in the Oval Office. Americans, of course, watching too. Many Americans had Ukrainian flags in their yards, so supportive at the start of the war when Russia invaded Ukraine. Let's get right to ABC's chief global affairs correspondent, Martha Raddatz, tonight. And Martha, you were there in Ukraine when Russia actually invaded. America witnessed this. And tonight, a much different display in the Oval Office.
Much different, David. I was in Ukraine that night 3 years ago when Russia invaded, launching missiles across Ukraine. You and I were on the air for hours, and there was such support for Ukraine here at home. Ukrainian flags flying in American neighborhoods, Americans even heading to Ukraine to help in the fight. And there was enormous support for President Zelenskyy, who told you when you traveled into Kyiv in those early days how thankful he was for the support of Americans. He said the same thing to me a year later. And there has been so much support from Americans for the refugees, the mothers and their children who you met, David, and who we profiled together. They often asked, will we have a country to return to? But the future of the U.S. relationship with Ukraine is now unclear. Tonight, European allies are standing behind Zelenskyy. The UK Prime Minister, who met with Trump just yesterday, promising his unwavering support for Zelenskyy. But meanwhile, Vladimir Putin's close allies in Russia are celebrating the descent into chaos after this meeting, with one official delighting in calling it a fierce scolding of Zelenskyy by the President of the United States. David?
It was extraordinary. Martha Raddatz with us tonight. Martha, thank you. In the meantime, we turn now to the other news this Friday night, and we have breaking news tonight on the death of Oscar-winning actor Gene Hackman, his wife, and one of their dogs. Authorities are now saying that Hackman and his wife did not test positive for carbon monoxide, but Gene Hackman's pacemaker might reveal when he died. ABC's Trevor Ault in Santa Fe, New Mexico tonight.
Tonight, authorities investigating the suspicious deaths of legendary actor Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy Arakawa, say preliminary tests show no sign of carbon monoxide poisoning. Authorities also revealing 95-year-old Hackman had a pacemaker, and an analysis showed its last event was February 17th, more than a week prior, and that may have been the day he died.
According to the pathologist, I think that is a very good assumption that was his last day of life.
After a security worker called 911 Wednesday, Hackman was found in the mudroom near the kitchen, Arakawa in the bathroom, with prescription pills scattered on a counter nearby. One of their dogs also found dead in a crate 10 feet away. Investigators now analyzing data from 2 cell phones found in the couple's home, along with medical records from medical testing service MyQuest, a monthly planner for 2025, and thyroid and heart medications. The mystery surrounding Hackman's death cannot overshadow his impact on film, from action to drama to comedy.
I'm talking about taking it out and chopping it up.
Actor Dustin Hoffman, who went to acting school with Hackman, remembering his longtime friend as powerful, subtle, brilliant, a giant among actors. I miss him already.
And David, because of that pacemaker data, investigators believe Hackman was likely dead for more than a week before he was found. The time of his wife's death is still unclear. Now, authorities still don't suspect foul play, but they say these autopsies will be key in solving this mystery, David.
Yeah, no foul play, but still a real mystery tonight. Trevor Ault, our thanks to you. In New York City today, the dramatic high-rise rescue, 2 window washers twisting in the wind at the 78th floor, their scaffold smashing into windows, glass falling to the sidewalk below. Here's Stephanie Ramos.
Tonight, this terrifying scene high above the streets of New York City.
Wow, it's spinning like crazy right now.
2 window washers not secured to safety lines swinging out of control off the 78th floor of a skyscraper in Columbus Circle.
There's people in there, workers are dangling.
Their scaffolding swinging in the wind, nearly 700 feet in the air, smashing apartment windows with residents inside, razor-sharp glass raining down on the street below.
Oh my God.
Firefighters racing to the scene.
We currently have the workers tied off on safety ropes. They are secure.
Breaking windows to pull both workers to safety less than 20 minutes later.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing, the fact that they weren't tied off.
David, those 2 workers are in stable condition. Incredibly, officials don't believe anyone on the ground was hurt. Authorities are investigating. David.
All right, Stephanie Ramos. Steph, thank you. There's also major news involving the Pope tonight. Pope Francis suffering a sudden worsening of his respiratory issues. Doctors have now placed him on a breathing machine to help him. Let's bring in Terry Moran. And Terry, the Pope's condition now reported to be guarded. What do we know tonight?
David, this is a setback for Pope Francis. The Vatican telling us that early this afternoon, the Pope had a coughing fit, and during that fit, he vomited and inhaled some of it, all that triggering that sudden worsening of his respiratory condition. So doctors quickly moved to clear his lungs of some of that material, and they put the Pope on non-invasive mechanical ventilation. That's a mask on the face. The Pope was not intubated. His doctors say Francis responded well to that treatment and that he was alert and cooperative throughout. Francis is breathing better now, but his doctors say that the next 24 to 48 hours will be crucial. The Pope, we are told, remains in danger. David?
Terry Moran live at the Vatican tracking the developments for us. Terry, thank you. Back here in the U.S. tonight, the newest federal workers cut involve meteorologists and scientists at NOAA, the federal agency that includes the National Weather Service. Hundreds of workers already laid off. They're bracing for more. At least 10% of the workforce expected to be cut. Now, NOAA monitors and forecasts routine and extreme weather nationwide, of course, tracking hurricanes, tornadoes, and other potentially life-threatening events in our country. When we come back tonight, the measles now being reported in at least 9 states, Texas to New Mexico, New Jersey, what we've learned tonight. Also, amid these soaring egg prices across the U.S., what McDonald's is doing this weekend, the $1 price tag. And tonight, the countdown to the Oscars here on ABC. Robin Roberts standing by with Cynthia Erivo, Demi Moore, and Timothée Chalamet, all right here tonight. Tonight, reports of measles now spreading across 9 states, from Texas to New Mexico to New Jersey. More than 20 new cases reported in West Texas alone this week, now reaching close to 150 cases there. 1 school-aged child has died. In just the first 2 months of this year, there have already been half as many cases as we saw last year. Tonight, amid soaring egg prices across the U.S., 2 fast food chains are trying to reach customers. On Sunday, McDonald's will be selling the Egg McMuffin for $1. The 50th anniversary of the sandwich. McDonald's and Wendy's both saying they will not raise prices on egg items after Denny's and Waffle House added a surcharge. When we come back here tonight, there's news coming in about NFL star Travis Kelce. His big decision is in, and counting down to the Oscars. Demi Moore, Timothée Chalamet, both right here tonight. To the index of other news, Travis Kelce will return to the Chiefs for his 13th season. Upset with his performance after losing to the Eagles in the Super Bowl, he has decided to return for at least 1 more year, telling Pat McAfee, "I can't go out like that." Look up tonight. You just might see a rare planetary parade tonight. 7 planets will be aligned: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Most of the planets will be visible to the naked eye just after sunset. When we come back here tonight, the Oscars, of course, Sunday night on ABC, and nominated actors Cynthia Erivo, Demi Moore, Timothée Chalamet, all with Robin in a moment here. Finally tonight here, the Oscars Sunday night on ABC, the nominees with Robin Roberts right here tonight.
Tonight, the Oscar nominees as you've never seen them.
You got it.
Demi Moore, nominated for Best Actress in The Substance, her first Academy Award nomination after nearly 40 years in acting.
I'm fine. Everything's fine. I really felt like this could either work or be a disaster, and sometimes those are the richest and best moments to really step out of your comfort zone for the impact it may have, because you don't know.
Once upon a time, you're just so fine.
Timothée Chalamet, nominated for Best Actor in A Complete Unknown for his portrayal of Bob Dylan.
I fell in love with him, and I fell in love at a time in my life where my career was taking off. I fell in love with this man whose artistry was really fascinating and cryptic and unique, and most importantly, his music. It's some of the most powerful stuff in American history.
You're green.
I am. Wicked, scoring 10 nominations, including Best Picture and Best Actress in a Leading Role for Cynthia Erivo.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. Congratulations on your nomination. Of course, this is your 3rd Oscar nom.
So insane.
What's the feeling?
It's just, I don't know, this time it felt different, maybe because of what it is and what it's for. It's really wonderful.
For her transformation into Elphaba, Cynthia spent up to 4 hours in makeup each morning to achieve the perfect shade of green. The universal theme, I think, has really resonated with folks about acceptance, about longing to feel belonging.
Yeah.
And do you think that is something that really has captivated folks?
I think so. I think so because I think everyone wants to belong. Everyone wants to feel seen. And even those who might not profess that want it. And I think being able to see it play out in front of you, I think has pulled the heartstrings of people and connected with a lot of people who might not have the words.
Powerful message. Our thanks to Robin. Good luck to Cynthia and all the nominees. Much more on Countdown to the Oscars with Robin Roberts, 8 p.m. Eastern tonight on ABC, on Hulu, Disney+, and the Oscars Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'll see you Monday. Good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.